The Haunting of La Posada del Sol. In the early hours of a sweltering August morning in 2023, Manuel Aguirre stood before the crumbling facade of La Posada del Sol. He had long been intertwined with the shadows of this forsaken hotel, an attraction for ghost hunters and thrill seekers alike. He was neither, yet curiosity drew him here like a moth to a flame. As a historian obsessed with the unspoken tales of his city, he couldn't resist exploring a place steeped in tragedy and haunted by the specters of its past. La Posada del Sol had once promised to be a masterpiece of Spanish colonial architecture, designed by the ambitious, if somewhat reckless, architect Fausto Galvan. Following a string of misfortunes, the grand vision faltered, leading to its premature closure in 1945. Local lore asserted that Galvan, succumbing to grief and rage at the collapse of his dreams, had exacted a horrific toll. His own family met a tragic end, their lives snuffed out within these very walls. The retelling of this tragedy reverberated through the annals of Mexico City, painting a picture of despair that enveloped the hotel like the creeping vines that devoured its once vibrant existence. Determined to confront the unsettling mystique surrounding La Posada del Sol, Manuel stepped through the creaking doors, the hinges groaning like the whispers of the undead. Dust motes danced in the thin light filtering through grimy windows, and the musty air reeked of mildew and neglect. Wooden beams sagged under the weight of decades, while intricate carvings marred by time spoke of a bygone elegance, now overtaken by malevolence. Delving deeper, he traced the remnants of opulence, a gaping hole where a chandelier once glimmered, faded wallpaper echoing laughter that had long since died away. What stories lay buried beneath the layers of dust? And who might still linger amidst the decay? Room 103 caught his eye, partially obscured by the encroaching wilderness that reclaimed its territory. It was notorious for the tragedy of a young girl, vanished from the nursery located on the hotel's grounds during the reckless days of the 1960s. Manuel felt a shiver travel the length of his spine, an involuntary response to the weight of grief that clung to the air. He hesitated but eventually succumbed to curiosity. The door had an energy that drew him in. Fumbling with the rusted knob, he pushed the door open. The musty air greeted him, bracing and cold, as he stepped inside. The room was a shrine of sorrow. A makeshift altar stood in the corner, adorned with a little white dress swaying gently in the draught as though caressed by a child's hands. Candles, vibrant and colorful, lay scattered at the base as offerings left by security guards hoping to placate the spirit. Creepy, he murmured to himself, distasteful dread creeping over him. As he observed the dress, the shadows seemed to deepen, swirling around him. In that moment, a feeling of unease washed over him, a sense of being observed from the darkest corners of the room. Sighing, he stepped backward, ready to leave, when he caught a glimpse of something shimmering in the far corner. He ventured closer, squinting into the dim light, and discovered an unsettling charm, a small mirror framed in silver. Its surface was dusty, but as he wiped it clean, the glass darkened, showing a reflection that was not his own. Staring back at him was Fausto Galvan, older, weary, and with eyes that burned like twin coals. "What have you come for?" the apparition whispered, pleading yet menacing. Manuel staggered back. I was just a historian." Galvan's voice echoed, distorted and hollow. "Another soul intruding upon a tragedy. I crafted my dreams here, and they were stolen from me. You think you can uncover what lies beneath the surface, don't you? You think you can understand." The air thickened, suppressing his breath, as Galvan's figure shimmered before him. "Your kind comes for stories but fails to feel the weight of despair, the stains of blood upon these walls. I am bound here, forever taunted by failure and rage. My family." "Your family," Manuel interrupted, his voice breaking. "They whisper of tragedy surrounding your name, but the truth remains hidden." "Hidden?" Galvan's countenance soured, transforming through resentment and sorrow. "They call me mad, but I am merely a vessel of the truth. I warned the world through my inscription, but they ignored me, floundering on their arrogance." With those words, an array of memories swept over Manuel, phantasmal images of men and women in a state of great joy and devastating sadness flickered through the air, offering glimpses of a life before the bloodshed. He saw children playing in the sunlight, a woman knitting on a balcony, a man bursting into laughter over a glass of mezcal. "What happened here?" he gasped, grasping for the threads of clarity. Galvan's eyes flashed with anger and sorrow. "Those with power destroyed what I loved. They trampled dreams, leaving behind only echoes of anguish. Beware, seeker of truth, if you delve into the past will claim you." Suddenly, a chill swept through the room, and Manuel stumbled back. The ambiance shifted, taking on a malevolent hue. Shadows danced more frenetically, thickening around him like smoke. Just outside the door, the whispers rose, a cacophony laced with sorrow, cries of the girl who had vanished, the students whose screams had been muffled. As he spun around, the room seemed to tilt, splitting his reality. He tore himself from Galvin's vision and dashed to the exit, his heart racing, seeking the therapeutic embrace of reality beyond those cursed walls. The pale sunlight welcomed him as he burst onto the street, gasping for breath. Behind him, he could hear the shadows within La Posada del Sol wailing, their mournful sorrow echoing into eternity, cursed souls bound by rage, despair, and unspeakable tragedies. The hotel loomed in the backdrop, a reminder that history is a tapestry woven with both light and shadow, a place where the past